Hello everyone, Dr. Alan Mandell here. Welcome back to my channel, Science of Healing. Have you ever wondered why some people in their late 60s, 70s, and even 80s wake up energized, mentally sharp, and physically active, while others struggle just to get out of bed? The difference is not luck. It's not genetics alone. And it's definitely not expensive medicine. In many cases, it comes down to one powerful morning habit that activates the body's natural healing systems from the very first hour of the day. Medical research continues to show that the morning routine you follow after the age of 65 can significantly influence your lifespan, brain health, heart function, and mobility. In fact, scientists studying longevity in places like Okinawa, Japan, and Sardinia, Italy, regions known as blue zones, or Weiqi, have found that people who live the longest often begin their mornings with simple, natural practices that reduce inflammation, improve circulation, and stabilize blood sugar. Today we're going to talk about a simple morning ritual that can help you add quality years to your life. It's inexpensive, easy to follow, and supported by science. And the best part is, you can start tomorrow morning. Let's begin. The truth is both simple and terrifying. Your morning routine after the age of 65 may determine how long you live, how clearly you think, and whether you remain independent or dependent on others for the rest of your life. Every single sunrise is not just another day. It is a biological signal. A command to your heart, your brain, your muscles, and your immune system telling them whether to repair or slowly decline. Scientists studying aging have discovered something shocking. The difference between seniors who remain strong into their 80s and those who develop chronic disease in their late 60s is often not genetics, not wealth, and not access to hospitals. It is the habits they repeat within the first hour after waking up. In fact, research published in the Journal of Gerontology found that consistent morning routines can reduce the risk of premature death by up to 30%. That is not a small number. That is the difference between meeting your great-grandchildren or never seeing them born. Your body is incredibly intelligent, but it is also incredibly sensitive to routine. When you wake up at the same time each day, expose your eyes to light, move your joints, and nourish your body properly, you activate genes responsible for repair, immunity, and longevity. But when mornings begin with dehydration, inactivity, and stress, those same genes shift toward inflammation, weakness, and disease. Here is a fact that should stop you in your tracks. After the age of 65, muscle mass naturally declines by about 1% every year. This condition, known as sarcopenia, is one of the leading causes of falls, fractures, and loss of independence in older adults. And the process begins quietly, invisibly, long before the first fall ever happens. But there is hope, and it begins in the morning. A study from the National Institute on Aging showed that seniors who perform even 5 to 10 minutes of gentle movement within the first hour of waking can significantly slow muscle loss and improve balance. Those simple movements send oxygen-rich blood into muscles and joints that have been inactive for hours during sleep. They wake up your nervous system. They signal to your body that you are still strong, still capable, still alive. Think about this for a moment. Most heart attacks occur in the early morning hours between 6 a.m. and noon. Why? Because blood pressure and stress hormones rise sharply after waking, especially in people who are dehydrated or sedentary. Thicker blood moves more slowly. Slower circulation increases the risk of clots, and clots can block the arteries that feed your heart and brain. Now imagine the power of a simple glass of water. During sleep, your body loses fluids through breathing and perspiration. By morning, many older adults are already mildly dehydrated without realizing it. Even a small drop in hydration can increase heart strain, reduce kidney function, and impair memory. But drinking water immediately after waking can thin the blood, improve circulation, and reduce stress on the heart within minutes. Researchers have found that proper hydration can lower the risk of stroke and improve cognitive performance in older adults. That means clearer thinking, faster reactions, better memory. Your morning routine is not just about energy, it is about survival. Consider the brain. After age 65, the brain begins to shrink at a faster rate than at any other time in adulthood. This shrinkage is linked to memory loss, confusion, and dementia. But scientists at Harvard Medical School discovered something remarkable. Regular physical movement and exposure to morning light stimulate the release of a protein called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF. BDNF acts like fertilizer for your brain cells. It helps them grow. It helps them connect. It protects them from degeneration. Without enough BDNF, brain cells weaken and die. With enough BDNF, the brain remains resilient even in old age. And the most powerful trigger for BDNF is not a pill. It is movement and sunlight in the morning. This is why people who walk outside shortly after waking often report sharper thinking, better mood, and deeper sleep at night. Their bodies are following a rhythm that humans have relied on for thousands of years, the natural cycle of light, activity, and nourishment. But modern life has disrupted that rhythm. Many seniors wake up and immediately sit for long periods, skip hydration, or stay indoors away from sunlight. Over time, this pattern slows metabolism, weakens muscles, and increases inflammation. Inflammation is the silent fire inside the body that fuels heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, and even cancer. Here is another startling statistic. Chronic inflammation is now considered one of the strongest predictors of early death in older adults. Yet simple morning habits, hydration, stretching, and sunlight have been shown to reduce inflammatory markers in the bloodstream. That means less pain, less stiffness, less risk of disease. Your morning routine is like turning the key in an engine. Turn it gently and consistently and the engine runs smoothly for decades. Ignore it and the system begins to break down, slowly at first, then suddenly. Think about independence. The ability to walk to the bathroom, to climb stairs, to carry groceries, to live in your own home. These abilities are not guaranteed with age. They are earned through daily habits. Studies show that seniors who maintain structured morning routines are significantly more likely to remain independent well into their 80s and 90s. They fall less often. They recover faster from illness. They spend fewer days in hospitals. And perhaps most importantly, they maintain dignity. Imagine waking up at 85 years old, standing tall, walking confidently, and preparing your own breakfast. Imagine remembering names, telling stories, and laughing with your family without confusion or fear. This future is not a fantasy. It is a biological possibility, one built on the decisions you make each morning. The first hour after waking is often called the golden hour of health. During this time, your hormones are resetting, your metabolism is starting, and your brain is preparing for the day ahead. What you do in this window sends powerful signals to every cell in your body. Signals that say repair, signals that say strengthen, signals that say survive, or signals that say weaken, signals that say inflame, signals that say decline. The choice is made quietly every morning before breakfast, before television, before the world begins to move. Longevity is not decided in hospitals. It is decided in kitchens, bedrooms, and living rooms where daily routines shape the future of your health. So when you wake up tomorrow, remember this. You are not just starting another day. You are casting a vote for the length and quality of your life. One small habit, one consistent routine, one powerful morning decision at a time. The moment you wake up in the morning, something extraordinary is happening inside your body that most people never realized. A silent biological reset is taking place, and what you do next can either amplify that reset into healing or completely shut it down before the day even begins. After the age of 65, your body becomes more sensitive to every single input. Hydration, movement, and light are no longer just lifestyle choices. They become powerful biological signals that directly control inflammation, circulation, hormone balance, and even cellular repair. Scientists who study aging have discovered something both fascinating and alarming. The human body has what is called a morning activation window, the first 60 to 90 minutes after waking, where your nervous system, cardiovascular system, and metabolic system are highly responsive to change. This means that simple actions taken in this short window can have an outsized impact on your entire day and, more importantly, your long-term health trajectory. Let's start with something deceptively simple: hydration. During sleep, your body continues working non-stop, repairing tissues, balancing hormones, and flushing metabolic waste through the kidneys. But in the process, you lose water through respiration and skin evaporation. By the time you wake up, research shows that many older adults are in a state of mild dehydration without even knowing it. And this is not harmless. Even mild dehydration can thicken the blood, reduce oxygen delivery to the brain, slow down kidney filtration, and increase strain on the heart. For an aging body, this creates a dangerous condition right at the start of the day where circulation is sluggish, mental clarity is reduced, and fatigue begins before the day has even started. But here is where the science becomes powerful. Studies in cardiovascular physiology show that rehydrating immediately after waking can improve blood flow efficiency, support kidney detoxification, and reduce morning blood pressure spikes that are commonly associated with heart events in older adults. Think about that for a moment, and something as simple as water can directly influence the force your heart is working against. And for seniors, that difference can mean reduced risk of dizziness, fewer falls, better cognitive clarity, and improved energy levels throughout the morning. Now imagine pairing that hydration with movement, gentle, intentional movement that tells your body one critical message: you are still active, you are still strong, you are still in control. As we age, one of the most serious threats to independence is not disease itself, it is muscle loss. This condition, known as sarcopenia, affects millions of older adults worldwide and is strongly linked to frailty, falls, and loss of mobility. Research published in geriatric medicine journals shows that muscle mass naturally declines with age, but inactivity accelerates this process dramatically. In other words, stillness is not neutral. It is destructive over time. But here's the remarkable part: even 5 to 10 minutes of gentle morning movement can activate neuromuscular pathways that slow this decline. When you stretch your body in the morning, you are doing more than loosening stiff joints. You are pumping oxygen-rich blood into tissues that have been inactive for hours. You are stimulating synovial fluid in your joints, which acts like natural oil for your bones. You are waking up your nervous system, improving balance, and reducing the risk of falls, one of the leading causes of injury-related death in older adults. Studies from the National Institute on Aging show that regular light movement in older populations significantly improves stability, reaction time, and functional independence. This is not exercise for appearance, this is movement for survival. And yet there is another layer to this morning activation system that may be even more powerful than hydration or movement alone: sunlight. When sunlight enters your eyes in the morning, it triggers a cascade of biological signals in your brain that regulate your internal clock, known as the circadian rhythm. This internal clock controls far more than sleep. It influences hormone release, immune function, metabolism, and even mood regulation. Research in neuroscience has shown that exposure to natural morning light helps suppress melatonin and increase cortisol at the right time. Not the harmful stress cortisol, but the healthy awakening signal your body needs to function properly. Without this signal, your body remains partially in night mode, leading to grogginess, low motivation, and disrupted sleep patterns later in the evening. But when you consistently expose yourself to morning light, your body begins to synchronize with the natural rhythm of the earth again, improving sleep quality, stabilizing energy levels, and enhancing cognitive performance. There is also something even more profound happening beneath the surface. Sunlight exposure triggers the production of vitamin D in the skin, a compound that behaves more like a hormone than a vitamin. Vitamin D plays a crucial role in bone strength, immune system regulation, and inflammation control. Low vitamin D levels have been linked in studies to increased risk of osteoporosis, weakened immunity, depression, and even cardiovascular disease. In fact, some research suggests that a large percentage of older adults worldwide may have insufficient vitamin D levels, especially those who spend most of their time indoors. Now connect all of this together. Hydration improves circulation, movement restores function, and sunlight resets your biological timing system. These are not separate actions, they are a synchronized healing sequence. When combined in the first hour of your day, they activate what scientists describe as the body's self-regulation system, mechanisms that control repair, energy production, and inflammation balance. This is where aging begins to shift direction. Instead of accelerating decline, the body enters a state of controlled stabilities where damage is slowed, repair is improved, and resilience is strengthened. And what is most powerful is that none of this requires medication, expensive treatment, or complex technology. It requires consistency, because the human body does not respond to perfection, it responds to repetition. Every morning you hydrate, you support your heart and brain. Every morning you move, you protect your muscles and joints. Every morning you step into natural light, you reset your internal clock and strengthen your metabolism. These are small actions individually, but together they form one of the most powerful anti-aging systems available to human beings. And the most important truth of all is this: decline in aging is not sudden, it is cumulative. It is built slowly, one ignored morning at a time, but so is recovery, so is strength, so is longevity. Every morning gives you a choice to either follow the path of inactivity and gradual decline, or to activate your body's natural healing systems and reclaim control over your health. The science is clear, the biology is responsive, and the opportunity is still in your hands every single sunrise. There is something quietly powerful happening every single morning that most people completely ignore, yet it may be one of the most important biological signals for extending both lifespan and health span after the age of 65. It is not a pill. It is not an expensive treatment. It is not even a complicated medical procedure. It is sunlight. And the absence of it may be weakening and sun may be silently accelerating aging in millions of older adults around the world. When morning sunlight touches your skin and enters your eyes, your body does something extraordinary. It begins a full system reset that affects your brain, your hormones, your immune system, and even your risk of chronic disease. Scientists studying circadian biology have discovered that light is the most powerful regulator of the human internal clock. And this internal clock is not just about sleep, it is about survival. Every organ in your body follows a rhythm. Your heart, your liver, your brain, your immune cells, all of them are synchronized by light exposure. When this rhythm is stable, your body functions efficiently. When it is disrupted, disease risk increases dramatically. After the age of 65, this system becomes even more fragile. Research shows that older adults often experience a weakening of circadian rhythm strength, which leads to poor sleep, daytime fatigue, slower metabolism, and increased inflammation. And inflammation, according to multiple long-term studies in geriatric medicine, is one of the strongest biological predictors of aging-related diseases, including heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, and arthritis. Now here is where sunlight becomes life-changing. Morning sunlight is not just brightness, it is information. When light enters your eyes in the early part of the day, specialized cells in the retina send signals directly to a region of the brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. This tiny structure acts like the master clock of your entire body. It tells your body what time it is. It regulates when hormones should rise and when they should fall. One of the first things it does is suppress melatonin, the sleep hormone, and activate cortisol, not the harmful stress cortisol people often fear, but the healthy awakening cortisol that increases alertness, blood pressure, stability, and mental clarity in the morning. Without this signal, your body can remain in a confused state, half asleep, half awake, leading to sluggish thinking, low motivation, and unstable energy levels throughout the day. But when you receive consistent morning sunlight, your internal clock becomes aligned again with the natural cycle of the earth. And that alignment has profound effects. Studies in sleep medicine show that people who get early morning light exposure fall asleep faster at night, experience deeper sleep cycles, and wake up with more stable energy the next morning. And for older adults, this is critical. Because poor sleep after 65 is not just about feeling tired, it is linked to increased risk of memory decline, weakened immune response, and higher rates of cardiovascular events. Now let's go deeper into something even more shocking. Morning sunlight also plays a crucial role in vitamin D production. When ultraviolet B rays from sunlight interact with your skin, your body begins a natural chemical process that produces vitamin D, a hormone-like compound essential for bone strength, immune defense, and inflammation control. And here is the alarming fact: a large portion of older adults worldwide are deficient in vitamin D, especially those who spend most of their time indoors. This deficiency has been associated in multiple clinical studies with higher risk of fractures, muscle weakness, depression, and even increased susceptibility to infections. Think about that. Something as simple as staying indoors too often can silently weaken bones, reduce immunity, and affect mental health over time. But sunlight does not stop there. It also influences serotonin, a neurotransmitter responsible for mood regulation and emotional stability. Higher morning light exposure has been linked in psychiatric research to improve mood, reduce symptoms of depression, and better cognitive alertness. This is why people who begin their day outdoors often report feeling more positive, more focused, and more emotionally balanced throughout the day. It is not imagination, it is neurochemistry responding to light. Now connect this with aging. After 65, the risk of depression increases due to hormonal changes, social isolation, and physical decline. But sunlight exposure has been shown to naturally support serotonin production, helping stabilize mood without medication in many cases. And mood is not just emotional, it is physiological. Chronic low mood is associated with higher inflammation levels, weaker immune response, and faster cognitive decline. So by improving mood through sunlight, you are also influencing physical health at the cellular level. There is another critical system that sunlight influences: blood pressure regulation. Morning light exposure helps stabilize the autonomic nervous system, which controls heart rate and vascular tone. Research in cardiovascular health shows that irregular circadian rhythms are associated with higher blood pressure variability, a known risk factor for heart attacks and strokes in older adults. But when the body receives consistent morning light, blood pressure patterns become more stable, reducing stress on the cardiovascular system throughout the day. Now imagine this happening every morning. Your brain is being reset. Your hormones are being balanced. Your sleep cycle is being strengthened. Your immune system is being regulated. Your heart is being protected, all from one natural signal, light. But here's the most important truth. Sunlight only works if it is consistent. Your biology does not respond to occasional exposure. It responds to patterns. A single morning in sunlight is beneficial, but daily exposure is transformational. Because over time, your body begins to expect the signal. It begins to anticipate it. It begins to organize itself around it. And that is where true longevity benefits begin to appear. Better sleep, stronger immunity, improved memory, more stable energy, reduced inflammation, lower risk of chronic disease. These are not small changes. They are foundational shifts in how your body ages. And perhaps the most powerful part of all is this: sunlight is completely free. It requires no prescription, no equipment, and no financial cost. Yet it remains one of the most underused therapeutic tools in modern aging. Every morning the sun rises with the same message for your body. And chi, bai, he, wake up, repair, balance, continue. The question is not whether your body can respond to it. Science has already proven that it can. The real question is whether you will give your body the signal it has been designed to receive every single day of your life.